That kid's long gone. This old man is all that's left. I gotta live with that.
Welcome back to the Renovation Rundown. I'll tell you what, we got a fun one for you today. This is going to be a good time. Good time. Hey, folks, you know, dog days of summer is kicking in here. We got the end of July. Soon it'll be August. People will be talking about vacation, blah, blah, blah. You know, but I definitely wanted to get this next guest on, you know, for quite a while. Such a fun and unique part of home buying in general. But then when you enter into the uniqueness of the entry-level homebuyer opportunities for this, like, this is going to be really fun. So I'm going to go right to it and get our guest on, the legend, Thomas Coronado, right? I'll call you all of them because I don't know which one you prefer to be called by, you know. But before we even begin, let me dispel a rumor here, right? I think the rumor is that the original script for Yellowstone was about you. No? All right.
No, I don't think so.
That? No? I really hope that was true. Come on. Like, you don't have your cowboy hat on. I don't even know who you are, right?
Not right now, but my out of office has that all the time.
There you go. I mean, it's what you're known for. You gotta wear it, right? You know. So I think I'm not going to steal your thunder here, but there's some really cool stuff. You're a legend in a very specific space, right? And it's always been intriguing to me, you know, kind of what you do, how you do it across states. And this isn't a city story, folks, right? This is a story about what's happening, you know, in very rural parts of the country that I think is really fun, really unique. So, Tom, I'll be a little blanket and say, tell us what you do.
So I do mostly, I would say I do infill lot construction. So some of that is in the urban areas, but a lot of it is in the rural sections of all the states, because, you know, we cover 49 states and 2 territories. And honestly, it is, you know, ground up construction. It could be tear down, because you could have some older stock out there that we're removing it all together. It could even be some subdivisions and things of that nature, but it's all in the system built world. I do a little bit in the site built, which is like a traditional stick, you know, kind of construction, but a lot of it is modular, log, some manufactured, you know, some of the more, you know, really strange stuff that's out there, like a cargo container, a tiny home, an ADU, a straw bale house, you know, like again, like I'm so odd that, as I have said in the past, if you wanted to build a kiva in the desert, I would be like, okay, let's chat. So
I don't even know what a kiva is, you know, like, I've never heard that term before. That's how odd that is. But, you know, what is it?
It's like an Earthship. It's like literally, like, you see them down in like New Mexico. It would be like built partially underground and partially above.
Ah, so I have seen those before. You know, it's funny you sort of mention that. You know, not too long ago, it seems to me that, you know, things were segmented a little bit more. Like, you had manufactured homes, which were yesterday's mobile homes, right? You had modular homes, stick-built homes in controlled environments, shipped to our destination. And now you got like ADUs and tiny homes and container homes. And there's a lot of segmentation, fragmentation, I guess, if you will, in what could be considered ground up construction, right? Along with your stick-built stuff. You know, what you do is all of that unique stuff across the country. Like, what got you into this? I know you as a Jersey boy. What happened?
Well, I am a Jersey boy at heart, but I live in Wyoming in the Black Hills. Honestly, a friend of ours knew that, again, being from North Jersey, actually, a lot of the manufacturers of modular are within about 150 to 200 miles. It's kind of like in Pennsylvania, which is the mecca of the modular industry. Through the years being involved locally with the building associations and specifically in the Poconos, it actually put me involved where a friend recommended I get involved at the national level. So I currently sit on the board of directors for the Modular Home Builders Association and on the board of directors of the Building Systems Council, which is part of the NAHB. I'm there this year's chairman, which has put me into a national position. It was more by accident, I think, than by design. But that kind of extends the tentacles, call it, where modular and off-site building is, like, again, more of the term. And that could involve all aspects of factory-built homes, because there's some portion of the home today being built in a factory. These people sit in these groups, and then again, as a lender, we're hungry for this type of business, and most lenders don't do it correctly. It just kept expanding. I left New Jersey nearly 20 years ago full time to move out to Wyoming. And I actually thought I would be out of the business in about 30 days. I had a plan B when I got here. And then I found that it actually grew my business.
What was the plan B?
Plan B was the work inside of a bank. Just like
I got you.
I figured, it would have been a 100-mile commute to the bank, but at least I could feed my family. So, but I never thought I would be able to do what we do today, and then to do it and then grow it. But again, the experience and being close to where I had lots of modular experience, and I think that's just it. Most bankers, most banks, most mortgage officers just don't have it. And then I found myself at a place that wants to do the business, willing to do the business, because it's actually complex. Like our world, you and I collectively live in a very complex lending arena. And, you understand what I do and I understand what you do, but we don't necessarily cross. But we do.
That's true. And you brought up a good point earlier, and that is, very few lenders, do what we do. And then of the ones who attempt to do what we do, very few of them actually do it well. Right.
Right.
So you think about your audience, which are, quick turn time deliverers, manufacturers, builders, whatever you want to call them, of these unique housing styles across the entire country, that need a guy like you to really understand what it means, to deliver financing on those in a way that's reliable for them. There's just not a lot of people who do it. Like, I don't know a person where I don't bring up this style of financing. They don't go, I know a guy, and I go, Tom Coronado, and they go, yes, that's the guy, right? So that's kind of how that happens. But Tom, sit tight 1 second. I really want to cover kind of the who this is for and what they have to do to engage, to try and do this, because you got a lot of people who are thinking about, sort of moving out to, I guess I'll call it the sticks, right? As a guy from the city, right? Moving out and finding their Shangri-La, with a little elbow room and a little land in the country. So, hey, real quick, sit tight. If you're enjoying this episode, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Every share helps us save more home buyers from needlessly spending more than they need to. And that's what this show is all about. Now back to the content. Cool. So look, tell me about the quintessential sort of user or buyer for this type of stuff, and kind of how you sort of navigate through that.
The world of construction, and again, the industry is fractionalized. So this is not everybody. It's where we are today. Is going to be anything from a first-time home buyer, USDA with no money down, and a veteran with no money down, clear on up to an investor who wants to put 20 or 25% down and build a log cabin in the middle of nowhere and rent it out as an Airbnb. We'll do everything and anything in between that, which is a wide swath. That's just on a construction loan in general. When you get into the modular manufactured and log world, the big thing is the manufacturers need communication, because they get payment structures slightly different than stick built, But a loan is a loan is a loan. So when we're dealing with the client and the qualified buyer, really, the person who is just looking to get elbow room and doesn't have a lot of money down, the myth is you need 20%. Well, yeah, at certain places, but that's other guidelines. That's not ours.
So let's say I'm like a conventional buyer. I would normally buy like a $300,000 house, let's say, with my 5% down, right, that I scraped up, and I'm going to exhaust all my savings on down payment and closing costs, generally speaking, right, and get a resale that, someone else is selling that quote unquote doesn't need any work. An option, rurally, right? An option is kind of what you do, where I can find that land for, I'm going to throw some numbers and you can hold me honest here, right? If I'm in the right ballpark. In certain parts, you said PA is which interestingly to me, you said PA is a kind of hub of where these things are made. So let's use like a Western PA dynamic, right? I got an $80,000 to $100,000 2-3 acre lot, right? And I'm going to get $200,000 to buy my structure that is going to be delivered to the site, whether that be, a manufactured home, or whether that be, kind of some of these unique homes that you're talking about, or barn dominium. Dare I use a word that Chip and Joanna came up with, right? To kind of get that, and then you can manage a way to finance that with very little money out of their pocket, right?
So yeah, like, when we're pre-qualifying a client on a, again, using these numbers called a $300,000 acquisition cost, you're looking as minimum down. You can, again, conventional buyer, 5%, maybe even 3%. Yep. The FHA buyer, 3.5% down. The VA USDA, zero money down. The thing is getting sometimes the seller, the land, to understand what we're going to do, but it's important to kind of bring in the realtor group that understands how to deal with the land, being presentation, call it, of the loan, because if they don't know that we can do these types of loans with little money down, they're not even considering bringing their client out to look at that.
That's
because they might be dealing, they might be dealing someone locally who says, no, I need 20% down. Again, you could get in a really creative world. You can have someone buy the land on a Monday and put 20% down on a land, say a $75,000 piece of land. You could put 20% down, $15,000. But then when they go to build the house, they're anticipating that they actually have to have more money out of pocket. Well, no, because on Tuesday, when they go back to the builder, they'll be carrying that land loan, and we use after improved value. So if they find a contractor that can build them a house for $200,000 or $250,000, but those two things produce a $400,000 home, now they have 10% equity, because we're now in our world, you're in my world, we're technically a refinance at that point, and we use after improved value. And there's not every bank, us in particular, we don't have a seasoning requirement. And some banks might tell the client, hey, you need to do that and wait a year. But we don't have that.
What does that mean, the seasoning requirement, Tom?
So the seasoning requirement is some banks will overlay and say, well, if you buy the land for $1 again, or for $50,000 because mom and dad sell it to you, but it's worth $100,000, they won't use the $100,000 real valuation. They're going to use the $50,000 or the $1 that was actually transferred. And they make you wait 6 months or a year, depending on the guideline that they have. And that's not always the case in every single institution.
And the net effect in those situations where they don't do that is that you just have to bring a whole lot more money to the table.
You'd be forced to bring lots of money to the table.
Yeah.
And in a case where you can use equity and build, and unrealized equity is the key. The creativity of, like, no two loans look alike in my pipeline at all. Whether it's the state, the type of build, or how we got from point A to point B, it's very complex.
And no two homes look alike in your world. I mean, but then again, you are doing like 3D homes and like dome homes and like homes that are built into the land, like a Hobbit house. Like, I've seen some of your structures, right? Like you're all over the map in terms of styles and types of homes.
It's part of the cowboy hat. I'm easy to find. Like, I go to the International Builder Show in Vegas. I do some public speaking around the country. I speak at factories, and I do podcasts like you here. But I have a very recognizable feature of the cowboy hat, and people come to me because they know that we're open to, we're open to construction lending, and they don't have to spend 2 hours explaining to me what their product is. Oh, it's a tip-up wall? Great. They're like, yeah, but I'm like, no. I got it. I understand what you're talking about. Like if it's a panelized or SIP build, if it's log, if it's, again, modular, everything we're talking about right now in the offsite world is just modern methods of construction. It's standard building. Manufactured, actually, we've got an expert here who does that specifically, which is a whole other hour you could spend on just manufactured versus modular. So
yeah, and maybe we'll get you back on to do that. Tommy, tell people where to find you, right? And how to hook up with you if they're thinking about this style of financing, or they're thinking about sort of building their own or manufactured or a 3D home or a container home and all that weird stuff you do.
I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook. I'm probably one of the only Thomas Coronados out there. LinkedIn as well. You'll find me when you get on LinkedIn. It's Thomas E. Coronado. And of course, I'm at CowCon, sitting here as a division of One Trust, running, kind of the modular division, call it, I guess.
Yep.
And then I actually have a website we're building, which is it's Lend for Build. So it's LEND for Build, and we're building our builder network. So
we'll put it up on the screen for you. So Tom, it was a pleasure getting kind of the hangout with you and kind of talk about, what you do. If I want to find Tom Coronado, I usually pull up to the bar at a builder show. Not that you're drinking, right? It's just that everybody knows who you are, and you're like the most popular guy at the bar, right? For the style of financing that you do. I really wish the Yellowstone thing was true, to be honest with you. I need a recognizable thing like a hat, but I won't steal it. Like maybe like an ascot or a karate gi or something. The guy in the karate gi, he does reno, right? I need something break down unique. Walls. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Coronado, good guy, interesting space. You've built an incredible business. And I think it's really going to come to of importance, in the next couple of years as folks, try and get a little elbow room and get their Shangri-La out in rural America. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
We'll catch you soon.